The root of all this is interesting to contemplate. You say that you think that the revolutionaries today want to destroy for the sake of destruction, because that is the only way to synchronize their darkened souls with the environment. Do you think that's what we're seeing?
So I think the men at the very top, they have a plan, a feeling of power, a feeling of strength, a feeling that they're making a difference, even though the difference is bad. So those at the bottom, the useful idiots who are expendable to the powerful, those at the bottom, they're just living in complete chaos. They're just going after a rush of dopamine. Like, I made that person put on a face mask in the store. I yelled at him and he did it. Or I made the white person not go in the store because, of the privilege that he has, or on and on. Those with money and power, they like to keep that money and power. Those who don't, those at the bottom, think that by attacking others, they'll somehow gain what they've always wanted. I mean, there was talk of these Black Lives Matter protests that were happening in the United States, an idea that was, hey, this is a great place to meet girls and do things with them, because most of the protesters, most of them are women, so it's just this concept of, I want to commit a sin in any way, shape, or form. The sin has to take place. I mean, if you look at the lives of those who think that this latest and more improved revolutionary movement is going to make me happy, you'll see that their lives are very empty. You try to tell them what the truth of the matter is, and they attack you. So I can't have a conversation with them. They don't want to have a conversation with you. They may even say the time for talk is over. We're not going to tolerate this anymore. Okay, so what are you going to do? Kill me?
With conversation, especially with your concerns about free speech and online censorship, what do you feel is the future of like-minded people being able to connect online or otherwise? You say you feel like a fool for spending so many years building up internet domains and platforms that are scheduled for vaporization.
I think it's clear that the trend online is greater levels of censorship and control. I had my YouTube banned a while ago, and more friends I know say who have a YouTube, they're getting banned. So you move to the platforms, the alternative platforms. Okay, but you notice that your audience's every hit is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So the way you have to see it is, yes, the internet is good, but once that internet goes offline, in whether they cut it off or something happens, power goes out. A lot of people don't understand, without power, you can't do anything. That's the easiest way to hurt someone. Anyway, the communities offline are going to have to be the most important. Do you spend hours online talking to someone, but do you know the man who lives to your right, to the house to the right, to the house across the street? Because when times get bad, your online buddy is going to be gone, but the man you live next to, now you're going to have to depend on him, and he's going to have to depend on you. So I think, yes, you're going to have to, this is why you're seeing a rise of these intentional Christian communities. But that's easier said than done. I'm in an apartment in the suburbs of Washington, D.C., and to go from here to an intentional community where I'm growing my own cows, I mean, that seems like a lot of steps. So, but at some point, we're going to have to say, yes, it's good to connect to people online, especially since online is so easy to find people who share the exact views that you have. But don't neglect the offline too. Don't think that, okay, because I have a Walmart close to me, I'm set. It's tough. I'm not in a place to really say much about this because I don't have that. I don't have what I know I'm going to need. But if you don't have what you think you need, then you're just going to have to put it into God's hands. I trust in God. He'll give me a challenge that in the end won't hurt my soul. So I'm not going to worry about it.
It's really good advice to connect with people offline. I like the idea of knowing 10 guys within 10 minutes of where you live. Something like that is sensible, I think. Look, I really appreciate you taking the time to speak with me. I think it's a fascinating story that sadly not enough people know about, and there's so much truth in it. So it's been brilliant. Thank you very much.
Great. And thank you very much for having me on.
Welcome.